What's up guys, Neil here, welcome back to the channel. Got a brand new video for you today, of course. And today's topic is, go figure, lighting. So as I'm starting my filmmaking journey, here on the channel I've just been pretty much reviewing stuff, talking about lighting, audio, lenses, stuff of that nature. But it's all a part of the journey, right? And the biggest part that I am finding in doing any sort of video production or filmmaking or anything of the sort is to get your lighting right. Like ultimately you want to become a light shaper, because lighting will make a $500 camera look like a $5,000 camera if you properly light your scene. So in today's video, I just wanted to talk about the lighting setup that I use for this particular shoot. Basically, the concept is how to light a kitchen, and it is going to give the commercial look, if you will. And to do that, I use 3 lights. So I'm going to break that down and tell you what those lights are and how I position them on the talent slash model to get the look that I wanted. So let's jump right into it. So the lights that I use were provided by Nanlite. So thank you so much, Nanlite, for sponsoring and basically supporting small creators like myself. The lights that I'm using, again, 3 lights. I'm using the Nanlite 720B as the key light for the talent. I'm using the 300B as basically kind of like I don't want to say floodlight, but basically a background light behind the talent to bring up that exposure in the kitchen. And then I'm using the Nanlite 60B2 as a hair light for the talent. Now I do also have the Nanlite Pavo Tube 30Cs, but just having the 60C was just easier. It's small, don't have to worry about anything besides putting it on a stand and shining it towards the subject. So let's break down how I did this. So what you'll see in the video here in this B-roll is essentially me positioning the talent. Now, one thing I will say I wish I did was to get her more to the frame in the left part of the frame. So I didn't use, obviously, my grids like I should have, but that's something that can always be improved for the next shoot. And the reason why I should have moved her more to the left is because the light was spilling. I don't have a grid for these soft boxes. By the way, I'm using the Para 120 softbox with the 720B key light, and the 300B2 I was using the Para 90, both softboxes from Nanlite as well. So the reason why I wish I would have moved her to the left is because you see in the frame here, the refrigerator, which is a stainless steel refrigerator, being that I didn't have grids, the light was spilling a little bit onto the refrigerator. Yes, I know I can use, power windows because I use Resolve and basically mask out that part of the refrigerator. But the key is to get your lighting correctly in camera so you don't have to do that kind of stuff in post. It has been observed, and now, for the next one, I will make sure that I can, properly not let the light spill. Also, I think if I would have moved her over to the left a little bit more, I could have flagged off that light right in front of the refrigerator with a flag or some sort of diffusion black, the all-in-one reflector with the black side. And that way you wouldn't have even seen the reflector, and for that matter, you wouldn't have seen the refrigerator. But even with the light hitting the side of the refrigerator, it could have spilled back into, say, the counters or the cabinets and stuff like that, and created a little extra hot spot, if you will. In this case, I don't feel like it didn't. So I'm sorry, I don't feel like it did. But in any event, so let's just break this down. So first we start with the house lights, which are really ugly. The footage that you're looking at right now is just a log image. And essentially what I'm doing is I've already placed the lights, and I have my key light, which is the Nanlite 720B, on my model talent. And what I'm doing is just basically trying to get a correct exposure on her so she's not blinded, which I did a couple of times because the light output was too high. But that's part of the process, dialing in your light. And I will tell you what makes it so much easier to get your correct exposure is using a monitor with false color. And the monitor slash recorder that I'm using, that I'm going to be doing a review for soon, is the Shogun Ultra by Atomos. I love this monitor just for the few times that I've used it. It has all the built-in features that you could actually want, obviously from any monitor: false color, waveform, focus peaking, magnification as far as zoom goes, as far as trying to dial in your critical focus. But more importantly, the screen, as you'll see, is just huge. I mean, it's 7 inches. There's a ton of other features that I won't go about because this video is not about that. But that allows me to dial in Kat, who is the model, Catherine, dial in her skin tones correctly and make sure she's exposed. So that way, when I go into post, I don't have any issues with, trying to correct her skin because I properly balance the light on her skin. So right now we're setting up the 720B as the key light. So now that we got that set up and got the exposure dialed in and everything, what I want to do is bring up that background, which is the cabinets and the countertop of the kitchen. So I'm using the Nanlite 300B2 with the Para 90 softbox. And basically I just want to put some light on the back so that way it separates her, the subject, from the background, and it just brings up the background to give it that nice, light, airy, bright look. So that's what I'm using to light up the background, and just dialing that in and just making sure that it's not overblown, as far as the highlights go. Even on the monitor, I'm not peaking on the cabinets with the light shining on it, as you can see. But more importantly is you want that separation from the subject, and then also you want to be able to tell what's in the back, and it's not super dark. And we're going for the bright commercial look, so that's why you want to have a light that's going to shine onto the background of the scene. So next we're going to start with dialing in the hair light, because even though with the key light, the Nanlite, she doesn't have much shadow on that side of her face, because I place the 720B key light to the right of her, essentially. So if she's facing the camera, the light's to the right of her at a 45-degree angle. She doesn't have a ton of shadow, but just to give her that extra little pop, that's where the Nanlite 60B2 comes into play. And as you can see, basically I just turn that on and it shines right to that particular side, the left side of her. So any little shadow that was there is certainly brought up. Plus she has basically a little hair light, shoulder light on her, so that separates her too from the background. So basically that's the 3 light setup. And again, the only thing I wish I would have done is maybe moved her over to the left a little bit. The kitchen area is kind of small, so I didn't have a lot of room to play, especially with big lights. And you can pretty much achieve this with any lights. The 720B as a key light is certainly overkill. The 300B is a great light if you want to start off with a light that's powerful enough for most situations, including key lighting. The 720B obviously is overkill, but it is a big light. So in a small space, having those 2 big lights and the 2 big soft boxes, modifiers, if you will, definitely makes things a little bit cramped. So now we're just going to walk through the process, basically turning off all the lights, and then step by step turning on the particular lights that light up the model. So I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown, and thanks again to Nanlite for providing all the lights for this video. Fantastic lights. I've been using these lights for months since they were sent to me. Absolutely love Nanlite, the products that they make, the fact that they support small creators. Thank you so much again, Nanlite. And if you found this video useful and you like the look that was created out of this video, please feel free to like the video. I would greatly appreciate it. It does help the channel. And if you want to see more lighting tips and techniques, and keep in mind, I am no master of light, but I am learning. That's a part of the filmmaking journey, is to learn how to do certain things, which is lighting and audio and camera placement, framing shots up, all that kind of stuff, treatments, if you will, that you need to do in order to have a good looking image. And lighting is such a huge part of it. I would say between that and audio, it is the 2 most things that are important. Obviously, your camera image is important as well, but I think it all starts with lighting, guys. And that's the reason why I created this video, just to kind of share my technique with you. Nothing groundbreaking. I'm not reinventing the wheel, but just my experience and how I use these lights. And, again, if you don't have these huge lights, maybe just use what you have. If you have, a smaller key light like a 100 watter or 150 watter, that's fine. Same for, trying to light up the background. Get a real small light or even a tube light. something like a 12-inch tube light would work if you just place it correctly behind your subject. That would give you a nice hair shoulder light and fill in a little bit of shadows if you place it correctly on that shadow side of the face. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I really do appreciate you guys coming back to the channel. More lighting breakdowns coming soon for some different stuff that I'm working on. Also, like I said, I'm going to review that Atomos Shogun Ultra monitor. It is just brilliant. I think it is by far the best monitor and recorder and a whole lot of other stuff out there. So stay tuned for that video as well. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that one. All right, guys, until the next time, be safe, be kind, and take care of each other.